Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, lots going on in the cruise news today. We have a country that is now finally fully reopened once again after a long period of time. We also have a lot of people messaging me saying, hey, guess what? This big cruise line just stopped needing vaccinations and everyone's welcome to go. And then we have all kinds of stuff. We have a really good report coming from Royal Caribbean. Even though they just had to raise more money, things are looking much better. So first off, officially this week, we have New Zealand officially reopened and welcoming back cruise ships. That's right, cruise ships are now able to sail all through Australia, New Zealand, and the borders have now been completely reopened to tourism. There's no more restrictions to go. Yay, cruise ships are being welcomed back into the fold, shall we say. And a lot of people there are going, we really need that tourism dollar to come back, because a lot of the farmers that are there that supply the cruise ships with fresh vegetables and things like that, it's been devastating to not have that income. Some farms out there were dedicated specifically to supply cruise lines. And they basically lost their income completely when tourism shut down. So really good news that they're going to be able to get back to work and the cruise ships are being welcomed back. You can sail from Australia, which means, and New Zealand, which means, hey, maybe I'll be scheduling something in the not too distant future from that area. While other places around the world, and some places like Venice and places like that, are trying to make it more difficult for cruise ships to get into port, we have some countries out there who are just jumping on board and trying to make it as easy as possible. In fact, they want cruise ships so badly that they're spending over $250 million on 2 new cruise ports in the Dominican Republic. I'm going to try and pronounce these right, so don't shoot me if I get them wrong. One is the Port Cabo Rojo, and another is the Samana Bay Port, both in the Dominican Republic. Both are costing together about $250 million, which will make about 7 cruise stops now that you can do in the Dominican Republic. So they're not shying away. They know that tourism dollar is a big choice. You know, the taxes, fees, port fees that you get from the cruise ships as well. In a country that it survives on tourism on a lot of its cases. They're looking for these dollars and they're trying to bring as many cruise ships to the Dominican Republic as possible. Recently, Royal Caribbean just went out and raised some more money. They needed more money to keep because their cash flow was down, but it's not all bad news because their cash flow has now reached the positive mark, which means they are now making money per day compared to spending money per day. And the really good news about all of that is that this summer they're sailing at close to 100% capacity on their ships here in North America because, well, a lot of the cases were because of really low fees. A lot of the cruise ships really dropped some of their pricing and people needed to use their FCCs. But FCCs don't count as cash flow. Only the people with paying customers count as cash flow. So if people are sailing and they're spending about 30% more on their cruises when they're on board, spending is way up. People can't wait to go to specialty dining. People can't wait to do special entertainment on board. Chef's tables, the photo packages, whatever they decide they want to spend their money on, people are spending more. And you can kind of see that. You know what? If my cruise, I used all FCCs on it, and I haven't cruised in a couple years, well, you know, maybe I'll spend more when I'm on the ship because it didn't cost me anything to get on it. I used FCCs. It didn't come out of my bank account, right? I didn't see that money anymore. That money was spent years ago. So you can see why spending could be up. Some other good news is that cruisecritic.com and Shipmate recently did a survey. And in that survey, they asked all their subscribers and everything, are they planning to cruise anytime soon, in the next year, 2023? And the vast, overwhelming majority said 91.4% plan to cruise, 6.1 are undecided, and 2.5 said they will not cruise. Now, that may change now because some of those people might have been unvaccinated, so I can't cruise. I'm not vaccinated. I can't cruise. I can't wait to get on a ship, but right now it's impossible. So no, I'm not going to be cruising. Well, they're starting to ease some of those restrictions. Like Royal Caribbean just said they're welcoming more people back on Royal Caribbean who are unvaccinated. So that 2.5 may grow even more, and that undecided may start to grow when the testing disappears and stuff like that. So it's all good news for the cruising industry, and especially Royal Caribbean, who has raised some more money, and also they're seeing their numbers stay at around 100% and climbing, and the spending on board is up. It's looking like a much brighter picture for the cruising industry at the moment. Okay, now I got a cruise line that people were messaging me saying, hey, look, they're not requiring a vaccine anymore, and they're a big cruise line. Okay, wait a minute. Hold your horses, everybody. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything cruising, from protocol changes to what's going on the ships, to new ships that are coming out, to cruise tours, to just tips and tricks on how to save money, just hit the subscribe button with that notification bell on. Doesn't cost a thing, and I'd really, really appreciate it. It does help the channel out immensely. And of course, thank you as always to everyone who's joined and kept this community growing. I really do appreciate it. Okay, I was inundated last night with messages that MSC Cruise Line has dropped the vaccine mandate. And that's because people read part of it, but didn't continue reading. So let me show you the part that they read. They read because MSC did come out and change their protocols. They're basically following in line with Carnival and Royal Caribbean. It's now 3-day testing. It's also 6 nights or longer in the United States. You have to have a COVID test. You don't have to show proof. It's recommended, but you don't have to show proof for anything 5 days or less on MSC leaving North America. That's really the big change that's come out. So that's the 3 big cruise lines, Carnival, Royal, MSC. Still waiting on Norwegian. What are you doing, Norwegian? You're going to drop a bomb anytime soon. I can feel it. I can feel you dropping that headline anytime soon. All right, so what they actually came out and said was, unvaccinated guests 2 years or older must show proof of a lab-administered negative COVID-19 viral test, an NAAT or an antigen, taken within 3 days of embarkation for all cruises from U.S. ports. MSC Cruises recommends guests to test within at least 1 day of departure if you're unvaccinated whenever possible. And that's what people read. They said, oh, I just need to get tested. 2 years and older. You don't need to be vaccinated now. No. If you went down to the bottom after that announcement and read their actual regulations, it comes out and it says, MSC Cruises' current vaccination requirements will remain in place for sailings from U.S. ports. All guests 12 years and older must be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. MSC Cruises recommends that fully vaccinated guests receive their booster doses when eligible to do so, per the CDC's recommendations. The MSC crew will be still fully vaccinated and regularly tested. So, no, if you had your hopes up, I'm sorry, they're not. They haven't dropped the vaccine requirement. However, they have dropped testing for 5 days and under in their fleet here in the United States of 4 ships. So it's happening. It may not be happening as fast as many people want or are hoping, or it may be happening too fast. I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.